Welcome, everyone, to the Tethys Shipyards. I am Takeshi Yamato, the Yardmaster, joining our host, the Housecoat Gamer.
Yo.
Today, we're taking a look at our next post 359er, the Chekov-Class.
And to illustrate, we're using a 359er. Its spiritual ancestor, and probably actual ancestor,
The
the
Springfield.
Which, I said it before and I say it again. The Shakir looks like an upside down Springfield. And guess what? The Springfield looks like an upside down Shakir.
Not exactly the same, but close enough. The roll bars, the roll bar and the nacelles are separate, but yeah.
I can live with this. It means I was right.
Yep. And remember when we did our Shakar video and I mentioned that the thing also looked a little bit like the California?
Well, you're not wrong.
Yeah. I can definitely see the California coming from this.
Well, California was part of the development program. Probably one of the last developments of the development program for obvious reasons. Seeing Starfleet completely abandoned it after 2385.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, how many galaxies are there in the fleet? One.
Yeah.
And it's in the Fleet Museum. Long live the D.
Yes. Anyway, let's get to the Chekov-Class.
As we all are well aware, the Chekov is most likely named after Pavel Chekov. However, the ship may also be named after Anton Chekov, President of the United Federation of Planets and direct predecessor to Federation President
Anik Okig.
Thank you. I was going to struggle to remember that for a second. So, every starship of this class is going to be named after a Federation president or
an Enterprise crew member. Any Enterprise crew member. So you will see. So we have a specific specific president in mind for the name of our hero ship, of our notable starship. But you will probably also notice starships named after. But this class will probably also include such things as USS Kirk or USS Sulu or USS Tucker or.
Oh, the USS Sulu is already taken by an Odyssey-class starship.
Right, USS Tucker.
Probably because Sulu was captain of the Excelsior. Yes, we're well aware. Irony's a bitch. Anyway.
Sulu might not just refer to Hikaru Sulu, but also Demora.
Anyway, let's lore this thing. Starfleet, returning to its roots after the sun finally rose after Frontier Day, decided to revisit the ships of Wolf 359. Mostly as a way of not only providing closure, but giving a massive finger to whatever was left of the collective out there.
Yes.
As such, other prototype vessels, such as the Equinox-Class, named controversially after the USS Equinox, commanded by Captain Ransom, also lent itself rather well to a new prototype based off the Springfield. This prototype was named USS Chekov, both after the starship lost and Pavel Chekov, the chief navigator and tactical officer aboard the Enterprise and Enterprise A for decades at that point. But also named after his son, Federation President Anton Chekov. President Chekov himself was amused by the idea that that a ship was named after him while he was still alive.
Yes.
So, Chekov-class vessels are named after presidents and Enterprise crewmen. And considering there have been many people to serve on the Enterprise, that's a lot of ships.
Yep.
Regardless, the Chekov-class includes a number of technologies ironically derived from the ship that killed her ancestor, including a Borg cutting beam. Yes, that deflector dish isn't just her navigational deflector, it's part of a cutting beam complex designed to damage enemy vessels in a similar fashion to a Borg cube. Meaning Take is going to have to look at the Borg rules and plant in the cutting beam as a special rule.
Or actually, what I can do is I can just add it into the weapons list using the stats for the cutting beam of the Borg Cube NPC ship.
Either or.
Let's see. Starships.
That said, the Chekov is mostly used as an intelligence vessel. Starfleet intelligence loves using this thing. Because, at first glance, people, and sometimes computers, mistake this ship for its less well-armed, smaller counterpart, the Equinox-class. At certain angles, hell, at most angles, you would mistake this for an Equinox, and Starfleet intelligence loves that. Because this ship is far more heavily armed than an Equinox. Also, the cutting beam.
Yeah.
Because Starfleet know-how, Borg technology, that's an evil combination.
Yeah.
There's a reason Voyager was so feared. It ain't just the plot armor.
Just scale plus security, looks like.
Unfortunately, like most of the ships you're going to be seeing here, it didn't enter service with the rest of the fleet until after the Klingon Federation War, and didn't even enter production until after the Iconian crap. Because, again, what takes precedence? Proven, easier to build designs, not something brand new.
Yeah.
It's like building more F-35s when it's cheaper just to build an F-15.
Yeah. And the F-15 is already proven.
Very, very, very proven.
Release the Eagle. Release the what? Oh!
Fetch me their souls.
Oh dear Neptune.
Anywho.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get to static this thing. We're giving this thing an entered service year of 2404 for the prototype. And given that updates are 1 point every 50 years after 2400, that's basically fine for the production model as well. So we're starting with the baseline stat block for the Springfield. That baseline is comms 10, computers 9, engines 10, sensors 10, structure 8, weapons 8. 18 plus 18, that's 36. Plus 19, that's 55. That makes sense for 2350's launch. So we basically have 5 more points we can add to this thing. Department values were 1 point in security, 1 point in engineering, and 1 point in science. It's a scale 4 starship. Yeah, The Springfield was a Scale 4 starship with phaser arrays, photon torpedoes, a Strength 3 tractor beam, and it had high-resolution sensors and rugged design for talents. And this doesn't make sense, but I'm just going to state it because it's what the book says. The Springfield class, as a special rule, the Springfield class can take saucer separation. And we're both saying no to that because there's no potential option for a seam because basically saucer separation would have it jettison that little secondary hull canoe basically. And
I've had a twitch for the last 3 weeks. That's probably why. I'm very much allergic to stupid.
Yeah. And the secondary hull has no propulsion systems but contains the warp reactor. The primary hull has the warp drive and very low warp speeds, 1.5 to 2, can be generated by the ship's fusion reactors. That I can potentially see if this thing could separate the way they're thinking it can, but Ron and I aren't seeing it. We don't see any seams. The best we could possibly say would be like explosive bolts.
But there's also structural things because even in space,
yeah,
having it just being hull plates is a very dumb idea.
Yeah.
These things are not empty shells.
Yeah. Anyway, we are not going to include that with the Chekov, and we're just going to outright say that that's not a thing, period. Anyway, so we have 5 points to add to the Springfield to make the Chekov in terms of systems values.
Well, I'm honestly not seeing any way to do it other than a blanket 1 point for every system.
Blanket 1 point for every system except for one, because there are 6 systems and we have 5 points.
I'm thinking that point is probably not going to be structure.
Okay.
Not that it needs it, I mean...
Yeah.
It's a pretty slim ship.
Comms 11, computers 10, engines 11, sensors 11, structure 8, weapons 9. And department modifiers. Do we want to change it up at all from 1 point each in security, engineering, and science?
I'm not seeing much reason to. In game, it's a science ship.
Yeah.
Though, personally, I would have made it a frigate, but that's me.
Yep. Also, for the weapons, phaser arrays, swapping out the phasers for the photon torpedoes for quantums. Though maybe we can keep it at photons. That's your call, I guess.
Yeah, it's at your own reconnaissance. After all, which do you want? Torpedoes that are easy on the logistics, because you can make them yourself. Voyager did it.
Or torpedoes with heavy boom.
Yeah.
And we have the cutting beam.
Because of
energy... Yeah. Basically, energy weapon, close range, challenge dice damage value is scale plus security, and it has vicious 1. And it has a strength 3 tractor beam. Talents. High resolution sensors, rugged design, still good?
Look at this thing. It is very rugged.
Yeah, fair enough.
If I didn't even know any better, I'd say that there was a neck under the...
saucer?
Yeah. Actually connecting the two instead of it being separate.
Yeah. There it's a little more visible, but...
You know, it could be argued that the Springfield is the galaxy equivalent of the Oberth class.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
I mean, Oberth has a canoe. You called this a canoe.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, it doesn't have the 100% canoe of the...
Oh, birth.
But the point remains. This could very much fulfill the same jobs.
Yeah.
And the Chekov just does it with an extra bit of Borg flair, because irony is a bitch.
Yeah. Now, that brings us to our notable starship. Named after the Federation president from Star Trek 4 and Star Trek 6.
Actually, just the one from 6. President Ra Goreshti. If I did not pronounce that right, well, it's it's not exactly my fault.
Yeah. I would just spell it. RA-GHRORATREII.
There is no pronunciation guide for that, so... Yeah. Ra Goreshti is how I'm going to pronounce it until somebody gives me a phonetic pronunciation guide.
Yeah.
The Ra Goreshti is one of the first vessels of the class to be produced after the Seeker incident. And finally starts breaking into the 100,000 range.
100
023.
023, okay. And for a mission profile?
Well, again, she's a scout ship.
Okay. Let me get back to mission profiles. Alright, let's see. So, mission profile options for this class as a whole would include Pathfinder and reconnaissance operations, though that would be a more well-balanced thing because no con modifiers, so that would be con 3, security 3, engineering 3, science 3, along with command 2, medicine 1, or multi-role explorer, which is 2 in everything, or scientific and survey operations would be the main specialty focus for this. Command 2, Con 1, Security 1, Engineering 3, Science 3, Medicine 2. So that would be Security 2, Engineering 4, Science. Or you could do Espionage Intelligence. Command 2, Con 2, Security 3, Engineering 1, Science 3, Medicine 2. The modifiers for the class would bump Security to 4, Engineering to 2, and Science to 4.
Recon.
So, Pathfinder and Recon?
Yep, that'll do.
Alright, well, as I said, Command 2, Con 3, Engineering, Security 3, Engineering 3, Science 3, Medicine 1. And for profile talent, improved reaction control system, improved warp drive, and rugged design. We already have rugged design. So...
RCS thrusters?
Yeah, RCS thrusters. Improved reaction control system. So... And let's see, room for one more talent. Let's see. Do we want to do advanced sensor suites?
Well, she kind of has to. She is a science ship, and those are required. Their
Yeah.
benefits to intelligence work is a bonus.
Advanced sensor suites. The way, okay, and now both high resolution sensors and advanced sensor suites work differently. High resolution sensors. I might as well just go into a description of how this rule works. High resolution sensors. The vessel's sensors can gain large amounts of accurate data, though they are extremely sensitive. While the vessel is not in combat, any successful task that is assisted by the ship's sensors gains one bonus momentum. Momentum being a resource you can spend for more dice or to create advantages. Advanced sensor suites is a bit more direct. The vessel's sensors are among the most sophisticated and advanced available in the fleet. Unless the ship's sensors have suffered one or more breaches, whenever a character performs a task assisted by the ship's sensors, they may reduce the difficulty of the task by 1 to a minimum of 0. So, high resolution sensors means you gain more momentum. Advanced sensor suites means that using the sensors is easier. And for descriptor traits, Federation Starship is fine for the class as a whole. And I can't think of anything to do for a for special. I can't think of any additional descriptor traits to put for the Ragareshti.
Named for a legend. Because let's be honest, the man was directly responsible for the Khitomer Accords.
Legendary name.
I mean, if it weren't for him,
Yeah.
it would never have happened.
Yeah.
Of course, it would be rather ironic if one of her sisters was the USS Kirk, and the Kirk always had to save her ass.
Yes, that would be ironic.
Or she was constantly saving the Kirk's ass.
That would be even more ironic.
I'm really disappointed with Boys a Cryptic for removing that mission. Because now we can't do it.
Yeah.
Because the USS Kirk doesn't exist anymore. Anyway, that is the Chekov-Class. Named for 2 Federation legends. One a Starfleet officer, one a politician who started unscrewing all the problems the Romulans caused internally.
Yeah.
And maybe the Changelings.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.